Hi, friends, and welcome to The Journey with Jackie Griggs. I am so excited to be here, y'all. It's been a long time coming. We'll get into that. I want to thank one of our sponsors, the Smoky Pit. As you see, we have a delectable looking plate of food right here, y'all. So they have some of the greatest barbecue in Baton Rouge here on 1916 Dallas Drive is where we're recording. So yeah, y'all come check them out. They're really good. So I just wanted to come to y'all today. This is our first episode. This is my origin story. And I was really intentional with this podcast episode being solo because I felt like I wanted to start it. I wanted to set the scene so that when everybody comes in and we're having interviews and we're talking to each other, I can at least say, hey, I did it, so you can do it. You can share your story. You can be able to share what your journey is or what your purpose is, and that's the basis of all of this. I want everybody to be able to feel safe here, to feel like they are in a safe space to talk about where they came from, where they feel like they're going. So I'm gonna share with y'all where I came from, where I feel like I'm going, and like we know in life, we can say, hey, this is where I feel like I'm going, and life can happen, and you don't go that way. You go the total opposite way because God wants you to go somewhere else. But I think as long as you are in a line with God, that you know what your purpose is, whether you know that whether you think you're going a certain way or not, you know where the basis of where you're supposed to be. So like I mentioned, it's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get into social media. I've tried to get into social media a couple of times, and I just feel like every time I would get into it, I felt like I don't really have nothing to talk about, so I'm gonna do a couple of videos and call it a day. I always felt like I was called to talk. I'm a talker. If you know, you know. I can yap. I can really run my mouth. Like, that's just who I am. So I felt like I was called to talk, called to be able to teach. But I just didn't know what that looked like. So I was like, oh, I'll hang it up. A little bit, and, we'll come back to it. We'll come back when I have something to talk about. Then I had kids, and I was like, okay, I could get back. Let me backtrack, actually. Before I had kids, my thought was maybe once I have kids, I can do mommy content. Everybody love mom talk and mommy content. Then I had kids, and I was like, listen, I don't even want my kids on social media like that. I do not want the noise and the you doing this with your kids, you doing this. I think I'm a little too confrontational for that, so that wasn't my ministry. But I knew I had to be there some way. Recently, I actually just held my first event at my church. It was called a True Love Women's Brunch, which it was so nice. But it was my first entrance into, hey, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be talking to people about what their purpose is. Like, okay, it took me a long time to figure out what my purpose was, so how am I supposed to be talking to people about what their purpose is? Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to help people figure out what their purpose is, which is the purpose of this journey, and letting them vocalize what their journey is, and giving people a space to know, hey, just because I'm in a certain space or I'm going through something right now, it doesn't mean that it can't change for me. So it's a safe space, like I mentioned. So just a bit of background about me. We'll just do that. I'm a mom, I'm a nurse, I'm a wife, I'm in school, I'm recording a podcast, I'm CEO of IMF Foundation. I just feel like I have a lot going on, but it doesn't feel overwhelming, and I think that's what's good. Whenever I first went to school, I went into mass comm, and I always wanted to be a nurse. Let me say this. I always wanted to be a nurse, but I strayed away from nursing at first because I had a mental block on math. It's so crazy. I actually do know where it came from. I had that mental block because my mom didn't like math. So that's something that I took on from her. She didn't like math. Turns out I'm good at math. But I had the mental block from my mama because she didn't like math. So I took that on from her. And that's the key. Don't take on other people's trauma or drama. Like, don't take that on because it's not for you. Some things aren't for you. So don't hold on to that and don't harbor that. So I finally... and God has a funny way of showing me things. I don't know how God deal with y'all, but he really be handling me. So it took me going into mass comm and being like, these classes are boring. I don't like this. This isn't interesting. That's because that's not where I was supposed to be in that moment in time. Ran around in circles, finally went to school for nursing. Okay, got into nursing, just loved nursing, loved being bedside at first. Then I ended up not being bedside, switching over, being in more of an admin position, administrative nursing, which is now I love. I love community health. Love women's health and being able to just help people. That's all. That just continues to be my basis, and you'll continue to hear that in my story. Just being able to help people. My dad, the creator of Isaiah Marshall Foundation, Isaiah Marshall, came to us with an idea. He had prostate cancer, and we'll get into that along the lines. But he had prostate cancer. He's cured now by the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. But he came to us with an idea about Marshall Matters. And if you're watching me now, hopefully you've seen Marshall Matters. It's a great show about our family and just, our journey, how we've come from. So that's kind of moving me back into the social media light. God, like I said, has a funny way of doing stuff, because I be running every time. I be like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, it's just not. And I need to start telling him no for he didn't smack me. Anyway, but so I was like, no, I don't know. So we got back in that. We got back in that light from that. And so my dad came to me with the idea of the podcast. Please keep in mind that this podcast that we're now recording was not originally supposed to be mine. Like I said, God be handling me. He forces. Sometimes God handles me like it's like, okay, you gonna continue to bob and weave, I'm gonna show you. So it wasn't supposed to be mine. My dad came to me actually after a church service one day. He was like, God told me to give you, first he said, God told me to give you creative vision, creative direction over this podcast. And I was like, okay, I receive it. So in my head, what creative direction meant was like, I'ma just organize what y'all gonna be talking about. That's fine. Then whenever I went to clarify with him, he meant like, he said, no, like, this for you. You doing what you're gonna be doing the podcast. And I was like, okay. So upon reflection, I was like, God, you're putting me in a position to do exactly what you want me to do. So I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. I'm here and I'm talking to y'all and I'm excited to be here, but I have no idea where this is supposed to go. I'm excited about where it is gonna go because it is in God's hands. So I've learned, and I think it's a very important, and I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's a very important lesson to learn and a very important tool to have to literally trust God. And I used to think that I trusted God. But you learn whenever you're dealing with anxiety and you worry that you don't actually trust God. You trust in yourself. You trust in man, and you leaning into that understanding. But trusting God literally is like, okay, I'm going to show up at the Smoky Pit and record this podcast. I don't know where you're going to have this go, but I'm going to just let you flow with it. Leading up to this podcast, I didn't tell anybody that I was doing it. I didn't tell anybody because I think it's because of the fear that I think came with it because of my earlier days wanting to get into social media, wanting to get into YouTube, and not really knowing what I was doing or not really having any success in it. I felt like my success was measured by numbers. And I think that it's important to now know that my success is not measured by numbers. It's measured by how I impact people and how many people I can, like the people that I reach and the people that I can help. It doesn't matter how many people, but am I at least able to help you? Am I at least able to reach you? And if I'm able to reach you, I've done my job. It doesn't matter if I have millions of people. I don't even need them. Like, millions of people. I just need the select few that's willing to learn. And I think that's what's important, just knowing, you know, what your purpose is, what your journey is, and being willing to walk in that. I know I've mentioned purpose a lot. And I know for me, for sure, it was kind of like, okay, what is my purpose? Because the world is so vast, right? It's so big, it's so broad. When you go to school, you can major in all kinds of different things. There's so many places you could go and work and make so much money. But what is your purpose? You see everybody over here doing this and everybody over here doing that, but like, what they got going on don't have nothing to do with you. Like, none of that is important. What are you supposed to be doing, right? How do you even find your purpose? How do you know if you're doing the right thing? How do you know if you're hearing the right things, you're doing the right things? I think it's important for us to know, like, just because we have our friends and they're doing things, you don't necessarily have to lean on their direction, right? I think it's really important, and we're going to get into that, which I'm so excited. We're going to get into all that. It's so important to get into your word. Make sure you're praying, because that's how you're going to be able to find your purpose. That's how I was able to find mine. That's how anybody that I bring on the show, I know they're going to be, that's how they're found theirs. But it's a journey, which I think is so beautiful, because we're not going to figure it out the first time. And I think that was I'm not going to say I think. I know that was one of my issues, that I wanted to rush things. I wanted it immediately. I wanted things to have an immediate outcome. And I just, within the past year, had to get out of that. And what's crazy is that literally a year ago, I went back to school in June of 2025. And whenever I was talking to my advisor, I was asking her, like, I don't know why. I asked this lady like 5 different times in 5 different ways how long I have left for school. And the answer was the same every time. But what I was trying to do was rush it. I was like, okay, maybe if I ask her this way, it'll shorten the time. Like, it was the same, I don't know, just crazy. But like, it was the same every time. But I literally had to pray, because I was like, God, just let me enjoy the journey of things, because I don't do that just with school. I do that with everything. Like, a project that I have that I'm working on, it's like, okay, I want to see the end results. And I think that was my problem when I initially started social media. It was like, I want to see the end. Or whenever I started wanting to record on YouTube, I want to see the end. I want to see the results. I want to see how other people, they were doing good. They were successful. Like, they had to go through their own journey. We're all in our own lane. We all have our own purpose. So my prayer was, God, just let me learn to enjoy the journey. Let me learn how to slow down and to enjoy what it is that I'm doing. And he honored that. And it's so crazy that I prayed that prayer in May or June of last year. And now I'm on a podcast, The Journey with Jackie Griggs, telling y'all about how to enjoy your journey and to know that you're not just going to get from A to Z in 2 weeks, because it's not going to happen. That's not how it's supposed to happen. You have a full life worth living, and you can't see from when you're born from 0 newborn to 40 years old. There's no way the time span of the things that you're supposed to be doing in that 40-year time span, is gonna happen at year 21. Like, you're not gonna, everything that you're supposed to accomplish, you're not gonna accomplish that at 21, because everything, every year, every day, every second in your life is a story. It's a written story. It's a journey. So you're supposed to go through it. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes. You're supposed to learn from your encounters with other people. And you're supposed to be able to teach people. Don't be a gatekeeper. Be able to teach people what it is that you're learning and what you're gaining from it. So make sure that you are not being gatekeepers, and you are telling people like, hey, I see this is where you're trying to get. This is how I did it. Now, do keep in mind, just because I'm able to give you tools and be able to feed into you and talk to you, that doesn't mean that your journey is gonna look the exact same as mine. And I had to learn that as well. That's just not gonna happen. And I can say this about myself too. I am very ambitious. And this is something I learned within the past week, actually, about myself. I'm very ambitious, but sometimes I get to the point where I feel content. Like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not doing enough. So I start, like, deep diving. I go into a deep dive of figuring out, like, okay, how can I make $1,000 or $1 million this month? Like, there's no way. Like, what are you doing? So how can I figure out? So I'm looking at all kinds of stuff. Y'all, I was looking at, like, real estate. I was looking at just all kind of stuff that I don't even want to get into. Literally just Monday, this was happening to me. And this is how the enemy attacks you. Just Monday. And so I was like, something felt weird about what I was doing, right? And so I was like, God, we're in a good spot. God literally just revealed to me a couple weeks ago the floodgates that were blocking your family. The floodgates that were blocking your family are not open. You have a flow of water, a river flowing towards y'all. Y'all are free, right? So now I'm looking into all this stuff. I don't even like none of this. And I was like, God, what's going on? Like, we're in a good spot. What's going on? And God revealed to me, so crazy. I'm at work, probably supposed to be doing something, but whatever. But I'm at work, and so God was like, Jackie, you have a spirit of discontentment. What are you talking about? No, I don't. Like, I'm fine, I'm ambitious. And God was like, no, you're not. You're not ambitious, you're ungrateful. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not ungrateful. I'm very grateful for where you have me. And he was like, no, let me tell you why you're ungrateful. You're ungrateful because I just revealed to you that I opened the floodgate open for you. And now you going trying to do other stuff. I have you in the lane that I want to have you. Don't let Satan knock you off of what I'm trying to do for you. When I tell you God be checking me, I be like, all right. He be checking me like your friends, like, I don't know. Hopefully y'all got good friends that, like, really be clocking y'all and telling you when you're wrong. That's literally how God be like, no, you dead wrong. Like, you're dead wrong. But he has to talk to me like that because of the personality I have. I'm real, like I said, I be saying, I ain't doing all that. And God be like, who are you talking to? Like, yes, you are doing that. So that's how he clocked me. So I actually want to read, and I'm gonna pull out my phone because I want to tell you the exact... and when y'all have some time, because it's a little lengthy, I want y'all to go read it. Luke 12, 16 through 14, Luke 12, 16 through 34. And basically what it's saying is, like, just because you're rich, or it's a parable about a rich man, and just because the riches that you have on this earth, when you died, like, the man was wanting to save all of his riches, and God was like, you a fool. When you die tomorrow, what's gonna happen to all of that? And I was like, nothing. You're right. And I immediately was repenting, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'm done. But I also prayed because I need you to remove this from me, and whenever I do get to that point, help me to continue to always realize where I am. And that's another thing. Whenever you're going through something, make sure when you're reading your word to cater to what your situation is. Don't just open the Bible and be like, all right, I'm gonna read Genesis 1. Girl, you're literally going through depression and you reading Genesis 1. No, ma'am. You need to be reading something that caters to what you're going through. Not the first when God created the heavens and earth. Like, what does that have to do with what you got going on? It's good that you know that, but let's read stuff about what we have going on. Cater to your situation, okay? So yeah, that's how we're gonna find our purpose. We're gonna figure out, and we're gonna self-reflect. Finding your purpose is also self-reflecting and surrounding yourself with people who will tell you, like, no, you wrong. Like, surround yourself with friends who are gonna tell you you're wrong. Do not surround yourself with yes man, because it's not gonna help you grow you. When you're in an uncomfortable space, that's when you're gonna grow the best. Think about, and somebody just gave me this analogy. Whenever our shoes are too small, right? Whenever our feet are growing out of our shoes or growing out of our clothes, what are we gonna do? We're gonna move into something else, right? We're gonna move and we're gonna go get us some more shoes. We're gonna go buy us some more clothes so we can get comfortable. But growth is good. Think about a little kid when they're growing up and they're growing out of their shoes and they're growing out of their clothes. It's good. That means you're hitting your milestones. You're getting bigger. You're getting where you need to be. That's good. It's good to be able to grow out of those things. That means you learned what you needed to learn in that time and in that place. Every season that we're going to be in and every space that we're going to be in is not going to be forever. And I think sometimes that can be scary because change is scary. But knowing that it's growth behind it and seeing and understanding where you're gonna go, even aside from that, I think that's important, knowing that, okay, it's scary, it's different, but I'm still gonna grow. So I'm very excited about hearing about everybody's journey and hearing about everybody's purpose, as we go through this series and as we learn and as we meet new people. I'm very excited about it. And I thank y'all so much for coming and listening to me yap. And I pray that y'all continue to come and let me be able to pour into y'all. And I hope that y'all are able to pour into me as well. I'm believing it. I claim that y'all are going to be able to pour into me as well. Thank y'all so much, and I can't wait to see y'all next time.